So today I'm talking about this the Therephone. It's this machine that I've built. It's basically a mechanical theremin, robotic instrument, musical robot sort of hybrid. It works in two modes. This is instrument mode, where as you can see on the top there's two ultrasound sensors. One affects the pitch, what key is pressed by the solenoids, and the other affects the tempo. So on the screen you can see on the left column in the console printing window, the tempo sensor. You can see the centimeter distance it's detecting here. So on here it's scaling by a factor of 23. So when you're this close to the sensor and it's showing 3.54 centimeters away, that is being multiplied by 23. So that will be about 100 milliseconds. And that will be the delay between the gate in pure data turning on and off and allowing new solenoid actuations. So practically that means that the further away my hand is from here, the slower the actuations will be. The actuations themselves are a fixed rate of 20 milliseconds on and off, but the delay between actuations will be what is being affected by the distance here. On the distance on this side, there's a bunch of conditional sorting that's going on inside the timing subpatch. That is, the timing abstraction that you can see on the screen there. I mean, it's not scaled very well because it's inside the Bella IDE, but essentially the sorting is in instrument mode is about 5 centimeters per key. So there's 8 keys. So that works out at about 5 centimeters to 45 centimeters. So you'll start at a C here and end at a C over here, and in between the notes, in between basically. So there are issues with it. I'm not going to say that there aren't. This side is fairly hard to see what the issues are, but they're basically the same issues that you get on this sensor. But since this one doesn't actually make a noise, it's not very apparent. But on this side you'll hear multiple actuations happening when the hand, or well, in instrument mode, the hand is not at a perfect angle to the ultrasound sensor. If it's at an angle like that, you'll start having angles that mean that it doesn't, the sensor doesn't hear back the echo from your hand. So let's try now. It's in instrument mode, so when I start here, it should play the low C. And you can see there a random actuation where it did all of them. But you can see on the tempo sensor, you've got quite fluid control of the tempo of the note. So that sensor is actually quite nice because it's more of a continuous data that you're changing there, because it's going from 5 centimeters, which is 100 milliseconds, up to any number over here. Whereas on the pitch sensor, you are set in discrete intervals of 5 centimeters, and that makes it quite hard when you're within one and moving to another one. Sometimes the machine gets confused, or if you skip over sometimes there's multiple actuations. Or as you can see, when I lift my hand out and stop playing the Therephone, it actuates most of the keys, and I haven't been able to find a solution for that, but I'll show you that now. There as well. In the project report, I outline an equation that you can use, and it's basically if you visualize a triangle here. I know this angle here, the angle that the sensor can detect at, is 30 degrees. So the further you get out from the sensor, the wider your object has to be for it to receive the echo back from the original wave that the sensor sends out. So if your object isn't very wide, like a hand, and it's over here, you might get some multiple actuations. You see I got some here, and that's because it's sensing around my hand and those distances aren't the same, and then therefore, as you can see sometimes in the Bella ID, there's a block overload or a block overrun or something like that, and it basically forces, the Bella forces zero outputs to some of the analog outs, which then results in this multiple actuation thing that I'm talking about, where it doesn't really sound as the xylophone should sound. But this is counteracted by using something like a book, something wider than your own hand, to see, that was quite a lot better than doing it with my hand, where I get that multiple actuations around there. It might also be to do with the material or the reflections and the angles of your hand, whereas with a book it's definitely at a 90-degree angle. But yeah, that shows the instrument form of the Therephone. You get some quite nice random sounds by changing the tempo and the pitch.